Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Iowa Thriving Communities webinar. We have two presenters today. We have Creston and Stanton. West Des Moines, unfortunately, had a last-second conflict, so we're trying to reschedule that presentation. And Jen, just a heads up, we're still waiting for Creston to come online, so we might need you to start first if that's possible. So Iowa Thriving Communities was introduced last spring. A group of us at IEDA and IFA wanted to find a way to really raise the bar on how communities look at housing. So what they're doing to attract developers, what kind of partnerships they're building, and working with locally to, working to encourage development and really push development for all in the communities. So part of this was twofold. One of it was to find out what's happening innovatively at the local level and raise those ideas up and share those ideas with other communities across the state. The other idea was to offer incentive for development with similar programs. So today's presenters have been designated, so Creston and Stanton, to receive 5 points in the upcoming round for workforce housing tax credits next year. 5 points is significant. The total points last year was around 50 points. This is quite the boost to give people the opportunity to develop in these communities. So really trying to encourage development out there. And as part of that, we want to hear from, Jenna here from Stanton to tell us more about the opportunity they're offering in your community. So I'll turn it over to you. If you can unmute, Jenna.
Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Oh, sharing here. Sorry, which one would I hit? Would I press to share?
Upper right, Jenna. It should say share.
Oh, there we go.
Leave button.
Thank you. Can everyone see that there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. My name is Jenna Ramsey, and I am the Stanton Community Development Director. Stanton is in Southwest Iowa. We are a small but mighty community of about 700 people, and we are proud of our Swedish heritage. We are actually home to the world's largest Swedish coffee pot water tower and Swedish cup and saucer. So our theme today in our presentation is about partnerships. While we have some great folks that have helped us and got our community to where we are today, we've really ramped up our partnerships and things that we've done in the last few years, and nothing could be done without our partners that we have. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some things that we've done here in the last few years, and then talk about kind of where our housing and then our future goals for our case of why we think we would be a great place to come and build houses. So Stanton has a few designations. We are proud to be an Iowa Great Place, proud to be a Wellmark Healthy Hometown. We are also an AARP age-friendly community and an Iowa Thriving Communities. We thought, what a better way to kick off talking about partnerships than the partners that have helped us where we got today, to where we are today, whether it's through funds or resources, guidance. It takes everybody. It takes a village to really make things happen. So we're really grateful for and honored to have these designations. Everything starts, we firmly believe that everything starts with a plan and partnerships. And in 2018, we actually got together the community and a variety of people and put together a comprehensive plan of some goals. We've also done some other assessments, such as a rural housing assessment report, an AARP survey results that have some housing information in it, as well as our local advisory council put together of community members on things that we need. And while I'll show you the things that have been accomplished, the one thing that still gets us is we have not been able to bring multiple quality houses or places to live in our community. So one of the exciting things that just wrapped up this year in Stanton is we were honored to receive the CDBG Downtown Housing Award. So the photos here are downtown Stanton before, and then here are the photos after. And then the city of Stanton actually blacktopped downtown, and all but a handful of businesses put permanent lighting here this fall. So I invite everyone to come and check out Stanton, especially downtown Stanton. It looks a lot different. We're having a lot of fun, and there's some great momentum. We also have Gibbs Chop House and Fika Coffee House to come and check out. Some other things currently going on in Stanton is our Stanton Child Resource Center. The photo at the bottom, there's actually a roof now, needs an updated picture, but it has a roof on it with some windows. And we are really excited. The Stanton Child Resource Center will be located in the Charles E. Lakin Foundation Resource Center facility. So we are expanding childcare availability in our area. We all know when people are looking for areas, they look for jobs, they look for childcare, and they look for housing. So this is one piece of the puzzle for Southwest Iowa to help with the childcare shortage that there is. And again, this daycare will open in 2024. Some other young family kind of projects or for young families that have happened is we added sand volleyball courts in the last couple years, also a 2-year through 5-year playground, and most recently the Kevin Blunt Memorial outdoor basketball court. I can't do a presentation without failing to mention FMTC. Farmers Mutual Telephone Company has been the fuel and engine behind a lot of what has been done, and it provides fiber to all of the Stanton community. While many communities out there are still working to bring fiber to the home, we have been 100% fiber to the home in Stanton since 2018. The FMTC has also helped with some projects in town. They had an old lumberyard that that some folks convinced them to turn into an old lumberyard event center. And then also Oli Suites for people that come for the weddings. This was actually one of the catalyst grants here, was the Gibbs Chop House and these Oli Suites, which complemented the old lumberyard event center. In the last 5 to 6 years, we've had 12 new businesses come to Stanton. Legacy Mutual Insurance brought their headquarters. Casey's has been added this last year. A&L Supply has come. As you can see, the list there of different businesses. Underdog Design and Drawing has come. That was a Stanton alumni that graduated a couple years ago and moved back. And then coming out or opening in 2024 is the Whitetail Valley Farm Winery, which we're really excited about. So as you can see, there's a lot of momentum and enthusiasm going on, and people are coming to Stanton. Also in Stanton that gets a lot of use. It celebrated its 10th anniversary last year is the Stanton Viking Center with a gym, fitness center, public library, and preschool. Now, we've talked about a lot of great things that are happening to get the momentum to where we are today. We've talked about jobs, new businesses, housing, or excuse me, childcare. Now let's bring it to housing, which is what we need. So over the last 30 years, over the last 72 months, 30 new homes have been built in the area. That's not in Stanton. That's just people out in the country on their own. You can see a timeline there of what the Stanton Area Industrial Foundation has done. They've really brought housing along in our community. They bought and sold spec homes, rehabbed homes. They also purchased a building on Main Street for upper story apartments. That was another Catalyst grant. Here you can see a picture of some things that have been done. This was the other Catalyst grant that I mentioned, the apartment before construction, and then the apartment after. So what is available for housing in the Stanton community? We have 2 areas available. One is Valhalla Hills and another is Tarkio Terrace Additions. In Valhalla Hills, there's around 20 lots available. And then in Tarkio Terrace Additions, there's 3 lots available, and we're currently working on funding for infrastructure for water and sewer. But we do have lots that have water, sewer, electric, and fiber available. They're also close to school, close to Viking Lake State Park, and we're within 45 minutes to the Council Bluffs and Omaha Metro. We offer residential building benefits, which is, you can see here, this list includes tax abatement. There's no charge for a building permit, for water services to the stop box, no charge to have sewer main available. You can see the list there. There's electrical rebates. So we do have a residential building benefits package for people interested in coming to build. And again, just for our Iowa Thriving Communities, we are working really hard to put together a package to apply for the tax credits, and would love to work with builders. Some of the things that we have to come is we're working on the Stanton Innovation Hub, which is a co-working space, entrepreneurial hub, and meeting space area for people that need a place to work. Another project that we're working on is the Stanton Technology Park. There's a lot of great areas around that have business parks. We're in the process of developing a technology park. It will have access to fiber broadband provided by FMTC. It's right along the highway. The first business in there is actually lot 1. That's the Stanton Child Resource Center. And then lots 2, 3, 4, and 5 are currently open. So we are working and doing presentations and talking to businesses about coming to the Stanton Technology Park. And based on the fiber redundant capabilities in the Stanton Technology Park, this is why we're calling it a technology park, and that some tech companies are interested in looking at the Stanton Technology Park. And the area right at the top of the photo there, north there, is actually the Valhalla Hills area. So it's all in the same area. Another project we're currently working on is we continue to work on expanding our trail. We currently have phase 1A out for bid with the DOT with a bid letting on December 19th. So just another project we are working on for the future. And again, to kind of wrap things up of what's been done, where we're at, what we can offer to housing developers, it's all about the partners. When I first put this presentation together, I actually tried to put it on one slide and it did not work. So again, we are really grateful to all of our partners. We firmly believe that that's how we are able to make things happen in our community, is all of the great partners. So with that, again, thanks to IFA and IEDA and everybody here today for listening to us talk about the great things happening in Stanton. Now, the big question is for developers out there, will you be our partner?
Thank you, Jenna. Let's switch over to Creston's presentation, and then we'll have time for questions after that for both Stanton and Creston. And Mindy, you can go ahead and just share your screen. Perfect. I think you're still on mute. You have to.
I think every meeting has to have somebody that's still on mute, right? Like that's a requirement for these. So, okay, I didn't listen to the directions. How do I share my screen? Oh, there we go.
And then the right one.
Go this one.
Maybe. Just click behind it. Click on your presentation behind it. Yeah, should be good.
Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
All right. Hello everyone. I'm Mindy Stalker. I'm with Union County Development Association, and I've got some team members with me here today. Ethan Standard, our new housing director, and Gabe Carroll, our mayor. So we'll go ahead and get started with just some information about Creston. We are the largest community south of Interstate 80 and west of Interstate 35. Our population's about 7,500. And we are the regional hub for many communities in Southwest Iowa. And we have really been working towards just bringing our community together through celebrations, events, particularly in our uptown district, as well as focusing on exploring all housing development opportunities. And you know, as a part of our application, we did highlight some ways that we feel like we are already thriving in many ways. We have an active local government. We've participated in one major facade improvements and for our uptown area. Several of our businesses have participated in some sort of grant funding, particularly for upper story housing. Our council is working towards establishing a rental inspection ordinance. The city also hired a code compliance officer last year. And most recently, we have hired a director of housing development, and that's Ethan's role. We've made several efforts for uptown revitalization. We've added some new uptown businesses in these last 2 years, and really kind of seeing some growth and excitement and some revitalization and rehabilitation of buildings in that district. And in terms of grants, the city of Creston was awarded the Boost grant, which we are preparing to implement some strategies with that, along with a neighborhood planning grant. RDG just came out with their recommendations for that, and then the city will be making some final improvements on Tuesday, the next council meeting. So the Update Uptown Committee is excited to get to work on preparing a presentation for that. So hopefully we'll be the recipient of some additional grant funding through that process for the very specific district that's identified through that grant. We're also making strides with our McKinley Lake restoration project that is just less than a mile from our uptown district. We're working to really make improvements there to our parks and connect that in a more pedestrian friendly way to our uptown. And then lastly is our Greater Connections Childhood Development Center. That was certainly a community-wide effort. Our Greater Regional Health was a great partner, as you'll see throughout this presentation, in that, along with our local banks. We've just opened a new childcare center. Once fully staffed, it will be able to serve 178 children in our community. It's been a great partnership with our school, as well, as they donated the land that the new childcare center was built on, and they continue to serve as they serve the food for the facility, and just continue to be great partners in the growth of that childcare center. And now, so our most recent exciting adventure is the Union County Development Association just purchased a former school that's also right along that corridor as we talk about connecting McKinley Park, or the park area, to the uptown district. This school has been vacant for several years. And again, with the hospital and our bank's partnership, we were able to purchase this property with intentions to abate the asbestos, demo the building, and make this land available for multi-residential housing. And we are in the fairly beginning stages of that project, but really excited to make a significant difference in the aesthetics of that corridor. And then, Gabe, would you like to share? This is Ethan.
So knowing that we have a lot of developers on the webinar today, I wanted to highlight some of our newer initiatives targeting single-family infill. This one here is currently an early childhood education center that the school district is going to be vacating in 2025. And so we started to have discussions with the school district about what's going to happen with that property before they do that. And they are very open to partnering with us on bringing this land into a developable state. What that looks like is still to be determined, but there's basically room for 30 or more single family lots to be built into the existing street grid of Creston. Some of the school does have to be demolished. There is a gym that has some structural issues with it. And what happens to the rest of the building is still to be determined. But the big vacant piece of land where the track is that you can see there will be pretty close to shovel ready by the time the school district leaves the property. So that's one of our more recent opportunities that we have had come up. This is another one that is about a 10-acre site, a couple blocks east of that previous one. Again, in an established neighborhood, probably from the 60s, I would say. It is just south of Bunco Manufacturing, one of our largest employers in the city, as well as it's on the north side of the city where the school district campus is, Swift Community College, and the hospital. So a lot of our biggest employers are near this, making it a prime target for people who want to live near where they work. And another site that we have that is fairground right now, the city owns this property and is looking at plans to develop it. Currently, there's a preliminary plat that has been put out there for some large lot custom built home sites. We are certainly open to hearing other things on that site and looking for developers that might be interested in doing custom home builds here too as well. And last but certainly not least, we have a lot of opportunities in our uptown for upper story housing. Mindy mentioned that RDG just did an uptown revitalization plan for us, and they identified, I believe it was upwards of 30 potential upper story apartment units that could come online through renovation work in the uptown area. These pictures here depict a few of those opportunities. On the far right there is one of the first buildings that was constructed in Creston, right across from our historic depot. The First National Bank building currently has a vacant upper story floor plan. The bottom left photo there is another large building in our uptown that could probably fit between 8 and 10 units in the upper story. It has an 8,000 square foot floor print with retail and commercial space on the ground floor, and then potential for upper story housing above. And the upper left-hand corner there is a vacant lot on our main street, Maple Street, which I refer to as our missing tooth. It is right along the main shopping district. It is a building that the city had to tear down in 2019, a couple of years ago, because there was large structural issues with the property falling into disrepair over a number of decades. So that is bare land now that is development ready. And in Creston, we have a big focus on the arts. We have a ton of murals if you haven't been here. I think there's over 60 murals now around town. We aim to grow, inspire, and awaken yourself in the city of Creston. Thank you for your consideration. Lastly, we have our contact information on here. If anyone is interested in some of the opportunities they saw, maybe.
No, just kidding.
We're online.
Yeah, thank you both. Just a reminder about the workforce housing tax credits for both Creston and for Stanton. The incentive is up to $30,000 in tax credit per unit, state tax credit per unit, plus an additional sales tax rebate. The maximum award is up to $1 million per project. The types of projects we allow, or I guess incentivize, include single family, duplex, townhome construction, apartment building construction, upper story rehab of buildings, adaptive reuse of buildings that were not housing prior, as well as, I guess, regular apartment type buildings as well. So a lot of opportunities, very broad. It can be used for both rental and for owner occupied housing as well. So a lot of different flexibility options here for as you kind of work with the communities and find design your projects and work and move forward. So any questions from anybody regarding these presentations? Go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand and we can get you unmuted then.
like Matt has a question.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, hey everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, Matt Daniels here, Director of Operations for Origin Homes. Question for Ethan, the Jones Edition. You mentioned that the lots over in the Jones Edition would be shovel ready when the school district leaves. When is that?
So the school district plans to vacate the building in 2025, but they are open to parceling off the land that could be developed sooner than that. So I think that's a question of if we can identify a developer, that can happen pretty quickly, and phase it in a way that doesn't impact the current operations of the school there until they figure out what they're doing with that property.
Approximately how many lots does Creston have available to build on right now? That would be, fully developed, ready to go, city connections, that kind of thing.
Forgive me, I started a month ago. I should know that offhand. Let me get back to you on that. I don't know the exact number. Is there a number that Origin is looking for in that regard?
No, not necessarily. Just one of the questions that would come up for us. We're going to be vetting some communities here in the next quarter to try to figure out kind of our strategy moving into 24. And so same for Stanton too. Jenna, didn't know how many lots you guys had that were available right now, shovel ready. And I'll jump off. I'll unmute mute myself. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time today and for putting this on. Everybody in the room there.
Thank you.
Yes, Stanton has 20 to 25 lots shovel ready.
Any more questions? I'll add a little more here for just as you guys think about questions as well. We are getting ready to launch our round. We sent out a notice last week. We will have, we actually introducing Nick Sorensen. He's the new taxpayer program manager for the workforce and state historic tax credits. So he'll be your point of contact going forward here. We're going to host a webinar to learn more about the workforce housing round in January. You know the dates? I should know the date, but it's in mid-late January in the announcement as well. The applications will be due in June. And as a reminder for those applications, you do need to have a resolution of support from the city, and that resolution of support has to be within 6 months. So starting now, pretty much those resolutions. Again, kind of in preparation for the round, make sure you have support. These communities, the Iowa Thriving communities, will have additional points attached to them as well, and definitely a leg up on the competition. Each year, we usually have 2.5 times the requests compared to the actual awards, just due to lack of funding. So great opportunity to get your projects moving forward, but also create relationships and partnerships in these communities as well.
And if I may add, the workshop is January 25th. It will be available via Teams. It will also be recorded, and we will put it on the workforce website. So if you can't attend virtually, you can attend here at Bell at our offices, or you can view the video at a later date.
Speaking of recorded webinars, Clint, yes, this has been recorded. We will send it out after the webinar concludes. That also gives me a good time to prime you for the next 2 Thriving Communities webinars. We have one this Thursday, the 14th, that will feature Charles City and Jefferson. And then our final one will be Tuesday, the 19th, featuring Manning, Muscatine, and Oskaloosa. So please register for those if you haven't already. But I do see we have another hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, I assume I'm unmuted.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. My name is Cheryl Faraci. I work as a volunteer with Amos here in town. We're developing community land trust. This is in Des Moines, sorry. So my question is, how many affordable units will there be in each town? And what percentage of the HUD income guidelines will you target for those affordable housing units?
Yes, workforce housing tax credit does not have any affordability requirements with them. So if the city requires something different, then they can do that with their development as part of their agreement with their developer, or if other funding sources such as local housing trust fund or other sources are used with the project, then it could trigger some affordability. These are generally at workforce, which is typically somewhere between the 60% area median up to the 100% area median income. We do not restrict the rents necessarily or the sale price for those that are for sale, but we do restrict the development cost. So right now for development costs, an apartment unit cannot exceed $240,000 per unit construction. And for single family developments, you cannot exceed construction costs of $298,000 in construction. So really trying to push those down in terms of targeting the workforce that is the bulk of what we're trying to meet the needs. And this is definitely not a luxury housing program. So in applications that come in that maybe are on the higher end for luxury or pricing, we don't accept those and or we don't score them well to receive awards.
Thank you.
Any last questions?